Tale, my beautiful Australian friend, I have a question for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Have you ever run a marathon, hike a mountain, done something crazy where you felt the pressure of doing something that was out of your comfort zone, but still, with the pressure and everything, you went through it? What was it? Tell me.
My thing has been challenging myself to actually take a 3-minute cold shower at the end of my glorious warm shower because it's meant to
Oh,
have all of these neuro benefits
yeah.
and da 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 da
Good
da.
for the hair. It's good for the hair.
Good for the hairs. Yeah, that's been something that has made me feel like all of that pressure of like, I don't want to. And then yeah, do it. How about you?
Oh,
What have you done?
I have camped in snow with you.
Yes, we have camped in snow. We were
Yeah,
actually in a shelter, right? And we woke up
you
in the
were.
morning because there was cracks in the shelter and the window didn't close properly. We were all covered in snow anyway.
Oh my gosh. I look like a caterpillar in my sleeping bag, yet I was frozen. I remember having like this water bottle in my feet, and that was so precious to me. I was just tendering that water bottle, right, with my body, and I was so cold. I did not get to sleep at all. I was just staring at the tent, and it was so cold, so freezing. I felt my muscles that I didn't know they were there because I was just shaking, and it was really painful, really painful. So yeah, that's that. And living in the UK feels like I'm really living life on edge, you know? Still holding
Yeah.
on to water bottles, people.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a lot for sure. For sure.
So today we are talking about pressure.
Mm,
We are talking about what happens when do we feel pressure and how can we better respond to the feeling. We're also going to talk about how our perspective has a part to play in the way that we respond to those moments. Perhaps you listening, maybe you have run a marathon, maybe you have done something crazy like a challenge, where you exercise or where you eat something or don't eat something or wake up early or do something crazy, and you know that it can be challenging, but you know that the perspective, the idea, the motivation that you have a goal in mind, and that changes everything, and then it helps you move forward. So we want to talk about that. And Tale, I want you to tell me maybe a little story, or just be real with us and tell us, have you ever felt that sense of pressure,
mm.
and how have you been able to sort of navigate that?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you're asking that question because right now I feel like I'm in a moment in life where I am feeling quite a bit of pressure with different things going on, and I'm consistently working at bringing myself back to a place of rest, bringing myself back. But it's a work in progress. It's something I have to consciously work
Yeah,
at because that pressure is like really trying to grip me and pull me off track. So, um, what's what's happening, just to be real and vulnerable, is okay. So in around November last year,
yeah.
I started feeling in my spirit that there was this test coming, that there was
Mm,
um,
mm,
an upgrade attached to this test, right? And as I just listened and I asked questions and was navigating this like this sense that I was getting around what was coming up, I I remember processing it and catching other pieces around it that there is so much abundance here in this moment.
yeah. Mhm.
And that this test that I felt like was coming was an easy pass. It's an easy pass
Mm,
if you just keep that
yeah,
perspective, if you just come back to the basics. And I'm like, okay, so what are my basics? And I'm thinking about what are the core things, my core values, the things that are in my core right now. And it's
yeah.
one of the big ones is rest. All good things start with
Mhm.
rest, and
Yeah.
rest is not about being lazy and doing nothing. It's about being focused and intentional
Yeah.
and coming back to that place of peace and coming back and working from that place. So right now,
Uh-huh.
I've made it into the test. I'm in the test, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I'm feeling the pressure of the
Yeah.
moment, the pressure of the test, the stress, the
Could you tell me a little bit of how like what are some of the emotions? What are some of the real kind of like what comes to mind? What is it that you feel like you want to do because you're sensing this pressure? Is it perhaps like a sense of like, oh, I just want to give up, or oh, I'm too tired, or do you feel tense? Walk me through the emotions that you're feeling right now.
that's good. That's really good. So I guess another piece of this test that I'm feeling, back in November when I was catching the pieces was untethering from,
Mm,
and that's kind of a big word, and maybe people will catch it, maybe they won't, but it's about untethering from my dependency being on self, being on
mm,
the things that I can see with my eyes and
yeah,
connecting into the reality, the greater reality that there's a bigger spiritual truth here. So it's this journey
yeah,
that I've been going on with God, with Jesus. And it
yeah.
so in the moment, in the test, um, the pressure has come from, and the emotions that I'm feeling, to answer your question,
Mm,
are around, oh, I just want to jump in there and solve it myself. I want to like
mm,
jump, I want to make this pressure go away. And if
yeah,
I could just do this, this, and this, and this, and
yeah.
then the pressure will go away.
Wow.
But I know
Mm-hmm.
that if I do that,
Yeah,
that is not actually passing the test. The abundance, the reality, the higher
yeah.
truth, the Christ consciousness that is actually available here for us in the here and now.
Wow.
That's what this
Yeah,
this test unlocks, and it's an easy pass. It's an easy pass if
yeah,
we just come back to the truth, the core things, the core values, those deep things, and come back to rest. And so,
yeah.
yeah, to answer your question, that feeling of like stress of
Mm,
like, oh, I don't know how it's going to work out, and I want to solve
yeah,
it myself. And I could just like do this and do this and do this. But I
yeah.
know at the core of my being, I feel it in my gut. That's not the way. Stay
Wow.
focused on the work that's in front of you. Stay focused on the task that is in front of you and keep
Yeah,
coming back to rest. So
that's
that's,
beautiful.
yeah, that's
You
the
know, I
process of
yeah, I love that you were saying pressure can come whenever we feel like we are not in control. Whenever we feel like we just have to sit and persevere or endure something.
yeah.
And I feel like that is so common because often we want to fix it. We want to be in charge. We want to be the solution. We want to quick fix things. And the reality is that a lot of the time, when we wait, when we're patient, when we endure, there is so much more growth than in the quick fix or in the reaction instead of respond. We tend to react quite a lot. When I was thinking about what story, what analogy can I think of? What sort of comes to mind when I think about pressure? I think about the time when I ran a marathon and I
Oh my
was,
goodness. Yep.
yeah, and it was pain. It was pain. Every step felt painful. My body did not like it. My mind was ready to give up every minute, but I remember having the perspective of this will finish. This will end. And you're talking about that because you knew about this test. You knew it was an easy pass. You knew you were going to be able to make it through. And I feel like that is so powerful because when we remember there is an end to it, to this. There is that a goal here. There is a final line. We will get there. Is so much easier. And it also like one of the things that I can relate is this sense of wanting to, you know, just put a solution. Or I remember like when running this marathon, I just wanted to eat something or stop or like hit my legs and make them keep moving. Like I just wanted to, but with my mind, deep down, all I knew I needed to keep doing is just keep running. Just keep running and but your body is screaming, your mind is like, oh, what are you doing? And I just want to encourage you, if you're listening and you're doing something that is, it feels hard, it feels difficult,
Yeah.
know that a lot of the time your character is growing, your endurance is growing, and that is actually going to help you. We were talking before this call that people actually nowadays put themselves through through like difficult things and pressure things. Weren't you saying to me today that sometimes people just jump on a really cold bath, ice bath, to feel that and to go through it and push themselves? Why do you think people do that?
Well, there's lots of scientific research, like for the ice bath specifically, there's lots of scientific research that shows that it is so beneficial for our bodies. And I don't know all of the reasons, but I know that it definitely helps our brain, our cognitive function. I know that it helps our internal body like work better, optimizes us. So, and what I've heard some people say about it, which is brilliant, is like no one wants to jump in an ice bath. Like no one wants to do that. But
Yeah,
people do it and they jump in because they know that if they can hijack their mind to do
mhm,
the hard thing, they can do anything. It sets them up for success. So doing the hard thing and pushing yourself into those scenarios where
yeah.
you might feel pressure, self-induced pressure, is really beneficial and really, really powerful for people. So
I love that. So we've got three keys to help you endure the pressure, go through it, to walk it, to see it with a different lenses. And our number one key is to remember the positives of pressure. So we've talked about it a little bit. It produces growth. It produces endurance. I would say that it grows you. Like it really does. It touches places on you that happy moments would not. Do you know that? Yeah, like it just gets you. And I feel like that is good. It's part of being alive. You find vulnerabilities that you didn't know you had.
yeah,
You find little weaknesses that you're like, oh, I didn't know I was so bad at this. Um, or that I was such a scary chicken, like I always say to you, I feel like I'm a chicken in different areas. And yeah, running could be one of them, and just wanting to give up. But then when you push yourself and you show to Tale, you show to Jimena, you got there, you did it. It's so powerful because it shows your brain that your body and your mind has the capacity to overcome.
yeah,
And I just want to say to you, you're not meant to give up, you're meant to push. And if you feel like you failed, that's all right, you can get up and try again. There is joy in that, there is great growth in that. So I just got passionate about it, but I just want to see more people trying things. And even if we fail, like, who cares? Try again. I felt so ill while I was running, but I'm like, even if I pass out, I tried it. Do you know what I mean? And I could not walk afterwards. I was like in so much pain, I could not feel like I was walking like a normal person. But even the pain was like, you know what? I did it. And my children will know about it.
so did you make it the whole way on your marathon?
I did.
Wow.
I'm going to say it. It took me 6 hours, which is like 2 hours more than usual. But I wasn't well the night before. And I was like, I'm still going to do it. I hadn't eaten anything because I was so unwell, but I had trained so hard for about 4 to 5 months. And I was just like, you know what? I've trained. I've gone out when it's rainy and cold, and I'm still gonna do it, and I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
And while I was running, I wanted to give up so badly. But it's just like remembering I've trained and I know this is hard. So sometimes, like you're saying, Tale, in life, it would feel like you are being tested or you are going through the run and it feels tough. But actually, when you look back, you've been trained for it. Like, I believe that you've got to lay what is needed to go through this test and to make it an easy pass because you've been trained, you've been preparing for this. And it will feel like that a lot of the time. So, key number two is very much related to this point, which is perspective is there and is a core thing to help you move forward, would you say?
Perspective is an interesting thing because when you're not under pressure, you can have one perspective and go, yep, this is who I am. Da da da.
Yeah.
These are my values. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run a marathon. Yep, I can do it. You can have all the positive stuff, right? But then you're in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're feeling the pressure, right?
Yeah.
And it's in those moments that it's really funny. Our perspective can, like, it really wants to get pulled off track and like, oh well, this was a stupid idea. Oh
Mm-hmm.
well, maybe I heard wrong. Oh, maybe da da da. Oh, everyone else is saying da, da, da. And so we can get pulled off track. And I think in those moments of pressure, to take a breath,
Yeah.
pause, take a breath, and remember your why. Why am I doing this? You know, like, what are some of my bigger reasons? Who do I say I am outside of pressure? Am I living up to that now that I'm in the pressure?
Wow.
So your
That.
perspective, take a moment
Yeah.
to really consider, like, who are you under pressure? And if your values and your all the pieces, your emotions, all of it, the stress is getting tested and getting
Mm-hmm.
stretched, there are times when it's really important to embrace that
Yeah.
and to go,
Yeah.
mm, the end result of this I know is going to be good. I know I'm going to be better. I know I'm going to be stronger. I know I'm going to have some more tools in my kit. So perspective is a
Yeah.
really powerful one.
Our number three key is to decide what you want, isn't it? Decide what is it that you want. Think about the end goal. Do you want to grow? Do you want to explore the weaknesses that you have and confront them and push them a little bit? Or
Mm,
do you want to remain in the comfort zone that we talk about in another episode? Do you want to stay there?
yeah.
Um,
It's nice to be
yeah.
in the comfort zone. Like it's nice
Mhm.
to be there. But decide who you are, decide who you want to become.
Yeah.
Decide what you want for your life and know, like, okay, pressure can really produce that in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we want you to know that we are in the journey as well. And we are cultivating this because we know that our character is growing. It's not so much about our business or our project that we're working on, but our heart. And I have to remind myself of that very often. As much as what I'm doing is great and there are great projects that we're working on, I'm very much aware that the biggest project is my heart. And so if you think about it this week, your biggest project is your heart. Your biggest project is your character, is your heart, is your values, your emotion. That is your biggest project. If you remember that that is what you're actually working on through every decision you make every day is you, I can guarantee you that you're going to grow and change and value and see, wow, that was tough, but I made it.
Yeah. So good. What's your final big takeaway, Jimena?
This is it. Keep going.
Mm,
That is it. When you feel the pressure, when you feel the feelings, acknowledge them, but don't give up. Keep going. And even if you fail, even if you fall, get up again and keep going. Because what matters is your heart, is your mind. Your mind is becoming stronger. Your heart is becoming healthier.
yeah.
And you are capable. And you know, life is about that. It's about our very own project of who we are becoming. So that is my biggest takeaway. But what about you, Tule? Would you agree?
Yeah, I think, yeah, keep growing, keep growing, keep growing, keep going. And I would say hold your ground. Hold. Hold your position, chin up, focus. Yeah, keep
You got
going.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, very quickly to recap, remember the positives of pressure.
yeah,
That was number one. Number two is perspective will make a difference if you remember what the perspective, what the intentions are, what the goal is.
yeah,
And number three is decide what you want. Decide what you want. Who do
yeah.
you want to become? Keep going, keep growing, hold your ground. You got this. Thank you for listening, everyone. We're very grateful that you tuned in today. We hope that you found some inspirational stories and encouragement today from us. We want to encourage you and tell you you are wonderful and you should keep going because you are growing and becoming more and more powerful every day.
Bye, guys.